Assalamualaikum and greetings. We are from BA24240. We'll be presenting Islamic versus conventional unit trust. Our group consists of 5 members. Without further ado, let our presentation begin. Generally, unit trusts are a form of collective investment that allow investors with similar investment objectives to pool their savings, which are then invested in a portfolio of shares or other assets managed by professional fund managers. However, in Islamic perspective, unit trust is a type of collective investment fund that gives investors the chance to invest in a variety of Sharia-compliant share, fixed income securities, and money market products. For example, bonds, stocks, money market instruments, derivatives, and cash. Next, structure of unit trust. It involves with 3 parties including investors, trustee, and unit trust management company. Basically, investors or unit holder are the ones who invest into the fund and trustee safeguards the assets of the fund. Meanwhile, unit trust management company manages and invests the pooled funds into authorized investments and portfolios by a managerial company approved by the Security Commission. There are 4 phases in unit trust development in Malaysia. Firstly, the formative years 1959 to 1979. It was characterized by slow growth in unit sales and a lack of public interest in the new investment product. During that time, active new funds were formed, but only 5 unit trust management companies were founded, such as Registrar of Companies ROC, the Public Trustee of Malaysia, BNM, and the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs were among the organizations that govern the sector. The next phase in the period from 1980 to 1990, it is where government involvement in unit trust sector began and an informal committee for unit trust was established to regulate. Additionally, financial institution subsidiaries began to appear in the 1980s and made it easier to market and distribute unit trust through the bank's branch network. Thirdly, the period from 1991 to 1999 where it witnessed the fastest growth of unit trust industry with the establishment of the Securities Commission in March 1993 and regulations implementation in 1996. ASN and ASB played key roles in making unit trust household product in Malaysia with marketing strategies. Lastly, the period from 2000 to current. The growth of unit trust shows a strong growth which at the end of 2005, the net asset value of managed fund capitalizing with 40.2% of Bursa Malaysia's market. Also, at the third quarter of 2006, the exposure of more than 50% for the overseas investment indicates that the continued interest by the investing public for a larger share of the international market. Thank you. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to Shuhada to present next slides.
Thank you, Najwa. Moving on to the comparison between Islamic and conventional unit trust. Firstly, it is compulsory for Islamic unit trust to perform an investment that followed the Sharia compliant, meaning that before any investment activities or operation can be conducted, they need to have an approval from Sharia Advisory Board in order to maintain the sanctity of the organization as well as the funding. Meanwhile, for conventional, their investment activities and operation does not based on the Sharia compliant, but instead they follow the Securities Commission guideline on unit trust funds, which allow to perform an investment to any financial instruments. Secondly, Islamic unit trust is restricted to ethical investment operation only, where the way they manage funds is by seeking profits for investors while conforming to certain ethical criteria, where a company should not be involved in illegal activities such as gambling, pornography, alcohol, tobacco, or drugs. However, conventional allows non-ethical investment operation, where the investment do not have restriction towards illegal activities. For example, company that produce alcohol such as Carlsberg is allowed to be involved in this unit trust investment activities. Thirdly, Islamic unit trusts have a specific criteria that based on morality. The main criteria is to avoid any transaction that involve with paying and receiving of interest due to the avoidance of riba. It should be run on a transparent and modern corporate basis and up-to-date accounting within a legal framework that in line with Sharia compliant. In contrast, conventional involves with interest-based systems because that is the way they make profit in order to sustain. And they also provide dividend to investors, which investors can make profit out of it. That's all from me. Now I will invite Nur Shuaidah to continue the presentation.
Thank you, Shuhada. We chose the dynamic series as an instrument for both unit trusts. A dynamic series is an investment that gives a fund manager the flexibility to change the fund exposure to investment based on how the economy is doing. This will allow investors to maximize the fund potential earning. So according to the graph, the CIMB principal Islamic Asia Pacific Dynamic Equity Fund is better compared to the CIMB principal Asia Pacific Dynamic Mixed Asset Fund. The performance of security, mutual fund, or investment can be compared to a standard known as a benchmark, which serves as a point of comparison. In that case, the Islamic Unit Trust Fund was significantly outperforming the benchmark as of May 2022. The conventional Unit Trust Fund had a performance that was underperforming, as indicated by the fact that the fund was 2.64% below the benchmark line, which was set at 6%. These indicate that the fund was facing high risk and low return performance. In contrast, the Islamic Unit Trust Fund was performing better than expected, as evidenced by the fund's position at 6.9%, which was significantly higher than the benchmark line, which was 2.97%. It indicates that the fund manager was able to consistently maximize investor earning with low risk and high return performance across diverse sectors and geography. In addition, the return on Islamic Unit Trust has been strong every year despite the investment exposure to fluctuating economic conditions. This proves that the fund manager has implemented an outstanding strategy to maintain its pricing power in order to counteract the effects of cost pressure and maximize earning. As a result, Islamic Unit Trust performed significantly better than the conventional unit trust. Next, I will invite Nurul Hani for the next point.
Thank you, Shuaidah. Now, do you ever thought of grow your wealth in the Islamic way? At first thought, we may think that the concept is same between Islamic and conventional fund. However, let me explain it to you why Islamic fund is more preferable. Let's go. Firstly, Sharia regulatory bodies has established the Sharia stock screening. This screening methodology is to undertake the Sharia screening for listed companies. Therefore, it will prevent the Muslim investors and businesses from involving in Sharia incompatible activities. Not only that, it is also to ensure that the financial assets in Islamic Unit Trust to meet the standards that are enforced by the Sharia rules. Secondly, Islamic Unit Trust also has a low risk during financial crisis especially. This is because Islamic funds tend to outperform the market in various economic conditions in Malaysia due to the effective diversifications. It indicates that Islamic fund has a low risk than the conventional fund since it has the ability to avoid investing in firms that carry a very high levels of debt. Next, for some customers, investing is not just about growing their future wealth but also staying to personal values. Therefore, investors will have a peace of mind with an Islamic fund because it will avoid companies that serve production of alcohol, tobacco, or any other activities that considered as harmful or unethical to society. As a result, investors can invest in Islamic Unit Trust with a confidence, knowing that it's managed to accordance with the Sharia principles. Lastly, the most special about Islamic Unit Trust is it have a Sharia advisor. It is important for them to ensure the compliance of its operations and activities with Sharia principles. Therefore, investors may get a benefit from this since Sharia advisors play an important part in ensuring and sustaining public trust in the Islamic capital market industry. That's all from me. For conclusion, I will invite Syazlia.
Generally, there are many reasons why people want to invest in either conventional unit trust or Islamic unit trust. People are likely want to invest because of the advantages or benefits they will gain for a long-term period of time. Despite the fact that both have advantages for investing, most people prefer to invest in Islamic unit trust. As explained before, the Islamic Unit Trust establishes Sharia stock screening, low risk, and leads to peace of mind. Investing in unit trust is made easier with the further encouragement and support given by the government. However, there are future challenges that need to be faced by the Islamic financial hub, especially to become an international product. Firstly, the challenges that might occur are related to the difference between conventional and Islamic law. This happens in some of the unit trust cases where there are unit trust companies that might neglect or do not deduct zakat from the unit trust profit, whereas in Islam, zakat needs to be paid to the poor or needy. Thus, regarding this matter, immediate action needs to be taken by the Sharia Advisory Council to avoid this deficiency. SAC should be having proper discussion on how to handle this issue in a proper manner since it will result in better coordination and regulatory of Sharia in the future. Secondly, the products do not suit the needs. In this matter, Research and Development Department need to play their roles in order to reshape the future of Islamic financial products. An expert and a professional in Sharia matters should meet and discuss together what they need to do to develop Islamic financial products that suit the present and future needs. After having a discussion, this directly reduces the obstacle and enhances the promotion of financial products since there is no more knowledge gap between them. In conclusion, the challenges can be overcome if the government and private sectors work together to give efforts to the Islamic financial subsector to become a hub of the world Islamic financial sector, especially unit trust products. As for now, the demand for Islamic unit trust is showing an increasing trend, which indicates the market for Sharia unit trust is getting bigger. And if this continues to happen, the vision of being a comprehensive Islamic financial hub will become a reality. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.